he is a space scientist, educationalist, and science communicator. He is also the former Deputy Director or Cabinet Secretariat of the Government of India in New Delhi, and space scientist and head in mathematics. So presenting his topic, Discovery Learning, let us listen to Dr. T.P. Sasikumar. Sir?
Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ajnanatimirandasya Nananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hiranmayena Patrena Satyasya Vimukham Satyam Pushannava Prana Nitya Satya Dharmaya Drishtaye. Namaskaram, Dr. Reina Lampu from Greece, who made me to be part of this program. Except that I know Dr. Elizabeth on 2 occasions. Reina I met in 1 occasion. Edward and me met 2-3 times. I got Isabel from Argentina was here around. I don't know anybody. So I was listening to the previous lectures. I'm a discovery teacher and discovery learner. I'm a discovery teacher and discovery learner. So I had something in mind to speak, but I don't have the most modern PowerPoint presentations which many people have, because I am a old man who is not techno savvy, right? But don't worry, I wrote on internet learning how adaptive learning is possible almost 15 years back, which is published by Discovery Publishers from Delhi. So when Reina asked, I thought this is the topic which I have to give. But then I had something to speak in mind, but after listening to some of the speakers, yesterday I couldn't be around. Day before yesterday I was listening, and today also I was listening to all the speakers. I am really confused. That's what I want to say. I think discovery comes only when people get confused. Philippines I don't know. I know only through readings. Hong Kong I know 36 years back because I was in Hong Kong for a conference. 36 years back. I was there and I was the youngest participant during that time. I remember Japan government gave me a beautiful token of appreciation, large money. Been in Malaysia for maybe 12 years back. So I know Philippines is where. And lead Philippines, Mexico is the top. 20 hours fly, maybe 15 to 20 hours fly, India to Mexico, Mexico to Philippines. All these are different parts of the world. So we are all connected well. Though there are some hiccups. Probably the first speaker, Dr. How many doctors? 3, 4, 5 doctors. Very good. Great. Jonald. And then I heard from my friend from Calcutta, who is also in mathematics branch, talking about SIR, SIR model. Donald talked about a different subject. So effective academic leaders. What is effective is a big question. Being effective, E effective and A effective. Maximum number of classes from me to teachers in the world. Why I say world, I have covered from Fiji to America. The topic was how do you become E effective and A effective. Very difficult. I don't have PowerPoint, so I am not going to read. I am looking at your face. So if your face can be shown, if you are alive, it is good. If you are beautiful, you can show your face. And you don't have to trouble of looking at what I have written. Right? This is our world. We are talking to people where we don't see faces. We are only talking to nameplates, numbers, and what we give is only certificates, papers, but we don't know Actually, knowledge gives a reflection which comes from face to face. That's our traditional style. That is how the styles of learning itself have been defined. If you look at Bloom's taxonomy or look at different styles of learning and teaching, pedagogies and practices, you see every teacher looks at the face of the student and then see, oh, this person is able to. But the modern technology has changed it. That's why we cannot replace education through the modern technology. We need to have a supplemental program. Maybe it can be a complementary program, but not a replacement. That's because unless I see the Nancy opened the face, now I know, oh, Nancy is looking at me. Right? If Nancy is laughing, I know, oh, she is appreciating. If you are showing a grinning face, I know it's boring, so I have to stop. So I used to address maximum number. I don't know how many people of you have addressed 6,400 people 6 hours continuously non-stop. I do that. Yesterday I was in a place, in a farm, in a countryside. I was talking to almost 200 people. So I know that, oh, it's getting bored, so I should stop. Digitally it's not possible because I cannot assess the effective and effective part of my learner. Because all of us are looking at screen and then screaming. That's what is happening. We read out what is being read by somebody else or what is given by somebody else and then copy it and then paste it. Education has become like that. That is the pathetic situation in the world. I keep saying PhD is a permanent head damage. PhD is permanent head damage. It becomes perspiration, humiliation and degradation. I keep saying in mathematics, when we say large, long, great, big, it's called infinity. So my PhD is in some subject. That means I have learned that small subject very thoroughly. I know that infinite quantity of that subject. What does it mean? I know very little in this world, but I know everything about it. When I define a problem and then prove it, where my PhD is in mathematics. So what do? We take a problem, solve it and then show that. So I know that problem completely. But that problem is a very small problem in the whole universe. And what am I doing? I am explaining it to the whole world where most of the people don't understand it. That is why philosophy, the word is given philosophy. What is philosophy? I must be argumentative and make others to believe that what I say is correct. That is the ability which a philosopher needs. So what is done is to make my point so powerful that others can get convinced. So I get a PhD. But today it has become a certificate. Anybody can issue a certificate to anybody. But real PhD is that when you do real research. I remember one of the great cricketer from South India, the other day he got a PhD or DLit or DSc from some of the university. He said, no, I don't want this because I know the value of this. His mother got a PhD, father got a PhD, all of them got it with a lot of effort. So education has become certification. Education has become so liberal. Education has become an index to measure how the country is behaving, not an individual is holding. See, the country may be rich. Like earlier Edward was telling, India is very rich probably. Yes, India is one of the richest country because we have got a lot of natural resources. We have got our richest people in the world is also in India. But then India as a total is very poor. Because 1% of Indians are rich, 99% of the poor people are in India. Or maybe the 99% of Indians are also poor. And we hold largest, probably one of the largest population in the world. So index doesn't make any sense. We have been measuring like the parameter. I keep asking somebody, you are healthy? Yes. Then go to a pathologist and check your all the parameters. They will tell you that you are all totally not correct. Because doctor's job is to identify problems to you. Similarly, the statisticians, United Nations, politicians, economists, all their problems are to find the problems, not to solve problems. No. So we have lot of confusions because we measure development in terms of political, economical. We know how to make a robot which may speak like a bird. That is development. But if you talk to a bird, then we are underdeveloped. Correct? We are tribals. We are not, no, you need not to be close to nature, but you must be able to speak about nature, environment. But you don't have to do anything. No professionalism. It has become only academic job. That is where I guess people need to understand. Going away from nature is what is considered as development today. If you are with the nature, if you are with farmers, if you are with, so okay, what is productive, what is economic development, what is growth, everybody speaks about it. Agriculture, yeah, it's a very poor man's job. Because he eats on the floor with a muddy hand, not that 5-star with air condition. So he is underdeveloped. And you sit in an AC room and eat it, then you are a developed person. You use all the gadgets to cook it and put it on your table. This is a big paradox. That is how we measure the development. And that is how UNDP changes to maybe SDG today. Because if countries are talking about politics, United Nations talks about a bigger politics. Actually, in fact, what happens is you are or we are becoming the poorest animal in the world. Because natural resources are being exploited. When we grab from somebody else, that means you are poor. Yesterday I was in a farm and one of the knowledgeable person in farming was talking about 1 kg of rice. When it comes on your plate, with all the natural resources available, it is used for growing it and all the human resources available for making it to happen. The cost of the rice will be approximately 5,000 Indian rupees. It can be around $90 US dollars. So you can imagine, and that is being sold or given free by government. That is because it is the tax which is paid by somebody else, or maybe think that that is the most essential item required, but the farmers are not being paid. So they keep on becoming underdeveloped. And what we do is the rotten rice which we create excess, it is being converted into, I am sure most of the Western countries also make wheat into beer, and beer is one of the richest probably. So either it is wheat or rice. When it is converted into alcohol, it becomes a product. Then that country is a totally developed country. I am so pathetic that people talk about 21st century education. Is it 100 years time when we have to talk about education and we are in a developed nation and we are developing? That is what is assumed that you are talking. I'm sure we should not talk about 100 years. It should be decades. So I keep saying education or any activity which we speak today, because we are all fast, it has to come to third decade of 21st century. So what happened 10 years back is not applicable here today. But still, we have not improved. We have not improved a little bit also. That is because our objective and scope is not well defined. We are only turning the bill, the same bill again and again. Either it is statistics is the grammar, mathematics is the language, research is the innovation. We keep on saying this for long years. We don't make a real essence in what we speak. How much knowledge we produce as a teacher. Are you need not to be a discoverer? Are you be an innovator? Not necessarily. Are you an improviser? Will you be able to improvise a small thing in your life and then become a teacher? Yeah. How is it possible? Only when that stage of thought process is inculcated in education. Education has to become a discovery process. But education is not a discovery process. It's a reproductive job. Somebody does research, we are copying it and then teaching somewhere else. Every word is being copied. Every content, every concept is being copied. Then how education is not productive? How do you think the world will become productive? Is it because there are no problems? There are very, very, very difficult problems. One of the biggest problem is, today everybody speaks about COVID. COVID is not at all a problem. I don't know why people talk about COVID. More number of people die because of hunger than COVID. But why COVID is taking attention? It is because it affects the richest fellows. Irrespective of whether your economic conditions, whether you are developed or underdeveloped, it is being affected. Why are you not seeing the largest people who are dying every day, every year for last so many years? Continuously, and you don't consider it as a big problem. That is because we are only concerned about the people who are rich. If you call that is development, okay, then I am a wrong person, probably in a wrong stage. That's what I am thinking. So I think that is the reason India is one of the richest, but in happiness index, in hunger, we may stand much better. See, this is where the problem is. You have to compare United States, China, Japan, Germany, France, India, Italy. Oh, all great, doing great. The growth rate is fantastic. The GDP is fantastic. But that is not. I'm sure there is nothing new. The 4 times of totals, the 70% of the poorest people can be fed. If 10% of the richest 1% in India contributes for feeding them, the lifelong food can be given. That reaches some of the richest people in this world. So economics development is not progress. Environment development is not progress. The social development and sustainable development are wrongly used words. Unfolding the human mind, the growth capital of that personal human being human, social being social, if that is not there, I am sure we will have a lot of activities to show that we have done it. But we lose the total scenario of the world. More and more specialization will come. The more and more specialization loses its larger views. In India, Bharatiya Shastra, the traditional Indian knowledge, there is a small mantra which says Yada Pinte Tada Brahmande. As the whole universe looks like, even an atom looks like. Because in the center of the universe, or maybe center of solar system, you have a sun and a lot of planets going around it. In the same way, you have a nucleus and so a lot of electrons going around it. And what is the mechanism? The same mechanism. What is the physics? Same physics. So if you understand the holistic view, there is no point in saying holistic and you become a hose view. The holistic view has to be a holistic view. Inclusiveness. Inclusiveness is not opening bank account for everybody. That is what is inclusiveness for many people know. Education is not making everybody to give a 10th class pass or maybe graduate certificates or PhD certificate. Everybody can get a PhD certificate. Does it mean that the education, everybody got educated? There is Savidya and Avidya. How much knowledge you have, where you can earn money. That means you can convert your education into a profession. And the second part is how much of your knowledge makes you more human. Do you have that humanness in you? If that can be done, I am sure the world becomes better. There is an objective, there is a mission and an individual. I have seen in the beginning of today's lecture, there were many questions. Actually, that philosophically can be answered in many ways. Every question, every answer can be right. Your right is my right and your right is your right. My right can be your wrong can be my right. It's easy to say X or Y. it can be both X and Y. Because there is no truth in the world, there is only fact. You are seeing the fact, I am seeing the fact. Only time will prove which is fact and which is truth. So I'm sure I can go on and on, but I don't think the audience are more receptive here. Their faces are not seen. So I get bored sometimes to look at only numbers, right? And names. If somebody is hiding, I know also how to hide, but that doesn't make any sense. I think I'm so boring. So thank you, the chair. I have many things to say, but I don't think it works.
No, sir, you can go on.
No, but I'm a discovery teacher. I like to see the faces.
Okay,
only if the chair says I'm going to take picture, everybody can show, and that is the attendance being given. That's how seminars are.
Yeah, we have really enjoyed your presentation, sir. Actually,
I know the third day, the last speaker is the most boring speaker.
No, actually that's one of the greatest speakers.
Got it?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I am too old for any certificates or any attendance, any awards or any rewards, because I left everything. And whatever I got in my life physically is also getting rotten because I have not even visited my house for last 2.5 years. I am staying somewhere else. So I will tell you, development is not the trophies which you have. Development is not what you think development is at this point of time. Development is what people should understand, being human, being kind to people, to realize what life is. But unfortunately, we are good. It's not that I am away from any one of you. For last 600 days, I must have posted more than 1,000 videos. And I have nothing else new to say. Because I keep on repeatedly talking on education. New education policy. New policies have not come. Wonderful new policies came. India developed a new education policy. I must have given 100 lectures on new education policy because I was part of the University Grants Commission, who is the highest authority in the... I was director for that. And then I was invited in many places to give lecture. And when I gave a lecture, I must have spoke only what happened 50 years back in India. And at the end, the Thanksgiving people have to every day praise, right? Oh, this man spoke fantastic about new education policy. And I stopped in between and said I did not say anything about new education policy. I was only talking about what happened 50 years back. But what happens is we talk about policies, nothing becomes implemented. Because we have no role. We are not political people, right? We are academicians. Academicians have nothing to do with the politics. So I believe you can only become influential on... I'm sure if a film star is coming or a dancer is coming or maybe a politician is coming, everybody will show their faces. Academicians have no value now. The charisma quotient is very little for teachers. I keep saying most of the teachers are beggars because they go to classroom and say, please listen, please listen. One of the maximum word which is used by teachers is please listen, please listen. And that also people don't listen because, and I keep saying all the teachers are beggars because they are begging the attention. And today also I did it, right? I said I am going, then people have shown their faces.
Yes.
Correct.
We agree.
So every teachers are beggars in this world. And what do they beg? They beg attention. That the problem is it has become so boring because everybody mucks up something, somebody pushes something, somebody posts something. Therefore, the expectation of most of the activities has become null. It is not text. What is discovery learning? Discovery learning is not putting text. It is not putting diagrams. It is when I speak, will you be able to imagine it or not is my question. If I can make you to imagine, if I show a picture, you cannot imagine. The first question of putting picture itself is one of the worst thing. If I start putting a paper there and say it is very simple for you to understand my mathematics, I'm sure you are not mathematicians. Everybody is not mathematician. If I put an equation, you will not be able to understand. So why should I waste my time and say, I guess you understood it? No, why should you guess wrong? So most of the seminars, I am into this field for last 40 years. I have been presenting papers, getting best paper presentation award from Hong Kong. All that is over. I think we should come to a realistic world to understand what is happening around us. Realistic. That realistic comes only. And your children are also not, or our children are not learning. Discovery learning is not happening because we are depicting everything. Everything is available. You don't even have to learn spelling today because spell check is there in your typing. You don't have to know grammar because grammar check is there. Got it? So everything is automated. So when everything is automated, you don't even have to cook. Somebody asks, why do you want to learn cooking? You can order food and it comes. Somebody asks, in which tree the rice is growing? They don't know it is not a tree. That is because they are not put into the nature. Going back to the nature is something you are underdeveloped. So how do you discover this? Discover comes not necessarily. I can also understand through the hearing. I don't have to see. Yeah, feelings of crying. The radio gives a drama. Drama is something which you have to see. But what is radio drama? When the sound comes, you can imagine. So that means you are becoming more imaginative by yourself. I am sure Reina will agree with this because she understands psychology, neurology and all that. So the more and more you can dream, the more and more you can imagine, then you are a discoverer. But we are not giving the chance to this next generation. Everything is fed. So imagination is not there. Yesterday I was talking to somebody saying on a dewdrop on the grass tip, a small dewdrop that reflects the sun. A poet can write poetry. If you don't have that poetical mind inside you, even if you see a large waterfall, poetry will not come to you. So how do you make this happen? You have to make that association with the people. We lack association today. We only have sparks, but no fire. I remember one of the greatest poet who spoke. I remember in my childhood I learned a small poetry which says, the poet is asking the student who is going first day to his classroom from the small village who used to play with all the birds and animals around. The poet is asking, tell bye-bye to that small bird who is waiting for your tata. Tell bye-bye to that small bird. Because if you go to school and then come back, you will forget all that language with which you can speak to nature. Because education is keeping us away from nature. Education is making us developed, by which you can earn money. And if you can earn money, the richest and the best, and you have a lot of credentials in you. So it is not. We can talk about the content, inclusiveness, knowledge construction, all that is fine. But how do you create that knowledge which is essential for people to access and motivate continuously to comprehend themselves? The comprehension is not happening. We have a lot of data, but analysis power has to be there with the brain. When data is analyzed, that becomes information. That information, if you learn, that becomes knowledge. And that knowledge, when you put into practice, that becomes skill. And those people who have skill is called the Acharya. In the beginning of the session, I chanted few Sanskrit slokas. And that Acharya who uses that creativity in him is called the Brahma in Bharatiya Shastram. In Indian tradition, Brahma is the god of creation, creativity. And Brahma's wife is Saraswati, the minister for education. So you can imagine education and creativity went together. Husband is there, wife is there, wife is not there, husband is not there. The education has to make you creative. A creative person should make education. But today we don't have creativity, we don't have education. It is separated in different blocks. We have got university who does research, we have university who teaches. They don't want them to be together. Partition has happened. Research university different, education department different. No, it should not be. Education and research has to happen together. If that doesn't happen, your knowledge will not be converted into skill. That skill will not add that wisdom. The elderly people like me probably will have only little bit of wisdom, values to be added. Not to avidya. Earning mechanism I may not know. But I know how to make you good. And that is to be added in education. If that cannot be added, education will not have wisdom. You will have certificates. but wisdom will not be there. So when you use it for society at different locations, don't call somebody 20 years of experience in teaching. If you are teaching 20 years, same subject, same class, you are not, see, it is not arithmetic addition. It is multiplication. You are multiplying same thing many times. So when you multiply 20 times also, it becomes 1 only. So different environment, different situation, different style, different ways. So it is not that Dr. TPS doesn't have a PowerPoint for discovery. I may have hundreds. I have got a full junk of 2 TB here with full of presentations. I was thinking I will show that. But then I thought it's not. It should not be done. If I am doing it, how can I be called as discovery teacher? I must have some new points. When I keep reading it, I will never become a new teacher. No, discovery will not have. So your data can be there, but data need to be presented in a different style. So data becomes information, information becomes knowledge, knowledge becomes wisdom. That pyramid should be full. Then you realize, oh, this is what is required. My MBA itself is in knowledge management. So I know how to convert knowledge from apprentice. Maybe what you are doing is deductive or inductive by reading what is there and then say the conclusion of my talk is like this. Why should you conclude? It is the listener who is supposed to conclude. It's nice for making a paper in an abstract and then submitting to a journal is fine. But I think every teacher has to be discovery. So how do you become a discovery teacher? At the end of the session, you should ask the participants, you should ask the classroom, tell me what did you learn? And assume nobody learned anything, that means the teacher is a failure. You must quit the job. And at least few people are answering you, that means your class is wonderful. That means you are a discovery teacher. Because every person can imagine. So when you speak, they imagine with that knowledge which they have. You are saying, I presume you know this because you have that knowledge. No guarantee that what knowledge I have, that same thing is with Basu. Because Basu's background is different. Though we speak same language, Ami Bangla Bolchi. So that's a different matter, right? So I speak your language doesn't mean whatever I speak in mathematics, whatever I speak in philosophy, you understand, right? Because my Bangla itself is what I gained from my roommate who was with me for PhD when he was doing diffusion equations. Got it? He was with me for 4 years. But what I picked up is very little. So don't take it for granted education is giving masters for everybody. No, that is not. We have liberalized education so much. Everybody can pass any examination in this world. And without passing also people can give certificates. So the value of this education has gone bad. That is the reason we don't have good researchers. We have only copycats. So at least there has to be an effort. We know great people like Mahatma Gandhi never got Nobel Prize. You know why? Mahatma Gandhi rejected the title Sir, SIR. So when Basu was talking, Sir, I was mentioning, I was thinking about when many people call me Sir, I said, don't call me Sir. Because we have a national Pita, the father of nation, who rejected the word Sir. I don't want to be a United Kingdom's Britishers view of calling everybody Sir in the world. No, I don't want that title. Probably if you would have accepted, you could have got Nobel Prize for peace. Can you imagine a person like Mahatma Gandhi did not get Nobel Prize in the world? You go to any American library, you will see Mahatma Gandhi's books in rows and rows, not written by him. Many people wrote about him. So sometimes you need recognition only when you bend your head. And that becomes development. Therefore, United Nations need to recognize you, you need to bend your head. Therefore, many people are running into great politics. Therefore, what happens is our genuinity, our wisdom, our simple way of not sophisticated. So what is required is your text into graph, into audio, into video, into animation, into simulation. But all that should be assimilated with your brain. I don't know how many of you here has seen an atom. We all know what is an atom, but have we seen atom? Huh? If there is any chemistry teacher, tell me, have you, that chemistry teacher or all of us must have learned up to schooling atom, right? But have you seen an atom? No, we have not seen, right? But I am sure Bharatiya, Indian tradition has shown atom to every student. Without microscope, you don't require equipment. Jalantara gade bhano yat sushmam drishyate rachaha tasya trimshattamo bhagaha paramanu riti smrdaha. Paramanu is atom. You can see atom. You know when you can see atom? Jala andare gade bhano. Take a bucket of water and put a torchlight. You will see small particle moving there. Same thing you will see in a dark room when a slit of light is coming. Will you see small particle moving? That is 300 atoms. So how many atoms I have shown you now? 300. Do you have your brain working? Can you split into 300 pieces? Then what you can imagine is an atom. So did I make people to imagine atom? This is discovery teaching. Is it something today? Third decade of 21st century or millions of years back? If you ask me when this sloka was written, I have to say I don't know. My great-great-great-grandfather, our great-great-grandfather, because there was no partition of country those days. So it belongs to all of us. Imagining, making people, and the last line is beautiful. The last line says, I will ask, now only Hassel Jain Chapel has shown, I could see like that, right? So if somebody is still wondering, no, I am not able to see, then one more line is there. Jnani nam drishti gojaraha. If your buddhi is working, you will be able to see. If your brain is working, then you can see. If your brain is not working, nobody can help you. So anybody whose brain is working, you can imagine. So making your brain to work. Think yourself. But today's class, today's academics, brain need not work. Last day of the examination, just one day before, one night before you read, right? Because teacher only gives question, teacher only gives answer. Bharatiya education was not like that. We had Vedas. After teaching Vedas, students have to ask questions, and those questions are compiled in the form of Upanishads. Number of Upanishads are much more than Vedas. The whole knowledge is not in Veda, it is in Upanishad. Because questions are not asked by teachers. Questions are asked by students. So do we have that system today? Is there how many classes where students ask questions? So what we should do is change from apprentice to descriptive, which I am also doing now, deductive, all that inductive and all that I am doing. Actually, a seminar should be a lot of questions, but we don't. Because the person who is at the chair will say you have 10 minutes to stop. Now I have to tell you have 10 minutes to ask me questions. So good enough for me. Good enough. If you have something to ask, I will be happy. Otherwise, yeah. Fine. Good.
We're so speechless because you have really ignited and really silenced our brain, Professor Dr. T.P. Sasikumar. Okay, we have learned a lot from Discovery Learning, which we agree that, our role as a teacher is very important, particularly in the teaching and learning process. So we really have to really discover many things, the way we teach students and come up with different innovations and strategies in order for us to really bring out the best of our students. And challenging your audience, challenging our students will also be part of Discovery Learning. And making connection is very, very important. When you connect with the learner, when you connect with the audience, so I know that the audience suddenly open the cameras when you challenge them to open it, okay? And I really thank, of course, Professor Rania Lampu for inviting you. Imagine, let's congratulate our resource speaker. We had our resource speaker, a former cabinet member of India, and he's a very well-known personality in India, and it's really, I think we thank for your precious time for challenging us. So I don't have any question, Dr. TP. I am speechless. I don't know with the rest of the group if they have some question. And thank you for showing.
Anybody has got, somebody has got Miliani Seanon. I don't know whether I pronounce correct. Miliani Seanon, yeah.
I think she has a question.
Yeah, welcome.
Melanie?
Sir, I just like to extend my appreciation because I truly learned something from this talk, and I congratulate you, sir, for this sharing that you had. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The first sloka which I chanted has got a great meaning. I thought I will have to explain it. Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi mukham satyasyapi hitam mukham. See, when there is a golden burthen which is covered with gold, everybody thinks inside that there is something great. Satyam Pushanamavrana Satya Dharmaya Drishtai. Once you remove the cover, then inside what you see is the real fact. And cover removing is called discovery. So don't look at the vessel. Everyone should have that ability to discover. Discovering is removing the cover. Right? And the removing cover only comes and you can see what is inside. What is, see, I don't know how many of you know that there is a great story about Einstein. Einstein was a great speaker. He used to go for different lectures. But he had a driver. And what was happening was, nobody who is hosting Einstein during those days, there is no internet, nobody's picture was available. Today when we know Einstein, the picture is available before us. But those days it was not there. So Einstein's driver once said, you are telling the same thing everywhere. Instead of me, I can also speak same English. Because not physics, no, same English is what he is speaking. So what Einstein did was, he made the driver to be Einstein and Einstein became the driver. And at the audience, Einstein's driver got a good reception and he spoke fantastic. But at the end of the lecture, questions came. Questions are not same everywhere. So when very specific questions came which this man could not understand, he said, even my driver can answer. It's so simple. You ask me a difficult question, I will answer. So most of the time today, to become a lecturer, probably you need only good presence of mind, how to escape situation. That's a problem in this world. So I wish there has to be a good dialogue of understanding what the objective and scope of anything what we do. That is one of my aim of life. Make it sensible, understand the real aim. Reina, I don't know whether you expected this or maybe I become so harsh. Sometimes I become so harsh. I don't mind. I don't have to see you in my life. You don't have to see me in my life. So I don't care. Correct?
Thank you very much, Professor, for enlightening us. It was a very revealing presentation. I can admit that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this.
Yeah, Elizabeth is there.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Again, Basu, I don't like the word sir at all.
No, sir.
I am Dr. TPS. I will call you Bus only. I will not call you as sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. My question is that how we can improve teaching in colleges and universities, because nowadays you see that most of the students try to mug up the theories and they're very bookish. I mean, that, as you were saying, the creativity, I mean, thinking of a particular problem and trying to solve it. These types of things are going, they're more concentrated on getting marks. Okay, so this is my syllabus, I need to complete it, I just mug up these formulas, I mug up these theories, and just vomit.
See, Dr. Basu, I understood your question.
How to make them more creative, I mean more thinking, because that will actually develop our country, because we are lacking good...
Yeah, I understood your question. Basu, I understood your question. Let me answer it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Until last few months back, I was a professor of mathematics in one of the universities here. So I also teach mathematics. So what I used to do is, out of 10, every day after my class there will be a question. Not that at the end of the year or end of the semester, end of the month. Every day when I teach, I will give 10 questions. And I make it a point, 5 questions I copy from internet. Everybody will answer. They will get 100 out of 100. And 5 questions I create myself and then give it. They will all fail in that. So we know, see, they are all copycats. Any question given, they will Google, find it out. And what is the change which I make? Maybe some small parameters, some names also you change, they will fail. So we will know who is a genuine student, who is a student who don't want to attempt anything. So what we are doing, we are creating a lot of graduates, postgraduates, MBA. Actually, they don't require your class or my class. They can also read and understand. Because it's only alphanumeric. I also taught a probability operation research in my life. Got it? I also teach business statistics, social statistics, Everything I teach, I also taught to this. You can look at last semester, I had a class on probability and statistics, random variables, distribution theory. Why should I use textbook and PowerPoint to teach them if I cannot make them to draw and show me back? So what do I demand? After your class, you make a diagram, you make a note and send it to me. Yesterday I was in engineering college. So the assignment was, as soon as my class is over, you send me the picture of the note which you have written in your classroom. And if you write good and the content is full, then you will get mark. I don't even see if that is the assignment. So you have to be a creative person how no assignments can be given. We go traditionally in exams and we become only PowerPoint presenter in the classroom. I think we can get your salary. That's not a big problem. But do you want to create a good student? This is the method. You have to identify. In your classroom, you are the master. You can innovate yourself great methods. See, I keep going to teachers training program. I will tell them what is the perimeter of this 1 feet, 1 feet, 1 feet. The square has got 4 feet perimeter, right? But once I tilt it, it becomes 2 pi r. So how does it change? What is the relation between 2 pi r and 4a? Hey, we never see this. We don't see this in the text room. Not in the classroom, not in the text, not in the notes, not in Google. You have to create. You are a discovery teacher. I am sure you will create something new in your life. I keep doing a lot of such things in my life. That's what I am doing. So I don't think normal classroom teachings are required because there are better classes available in the internet. Right.
Because nowadays everything is available on the net.
So what I do is, what I taught to them is creative, analytical skill, logical reasoning. Yukti yuktam upadeyam vachanam balakadabi anyatranavatyajam apyuktam brahmakadabi. Even Brahma comes and tells you this is correct, you should question him. If you are not having the ability to question somebody, then you are not inquisitive. Quest is not there.
Most of my students are lacking. They are not questioning.
No, that is because they have been asked not to question. No, they have to learn what the teacher says. See, that has to go.
Education system right from school.
No.
I will teach this and this that, and that is what you have to mark up and come in.
No, Basuji, let anybody be like anything, but in your class you can. Why Dr. TPS classes are never forgotten by my students? Every day I get many messages. Why? Because they remember, oh, this man is telling something different. I don't know sensible or not. That will tell you, only time will tell you. But I speak something different because I look at it. I don't just obey. When somebody says sustainable development growth, why should I speak about sustainable development growth 17 points? It's there everywhere. Anybody can read. See, I must be able to analyze it in between and say there is some gap in between. And that gap is what we have to look at it. So I am discovering the words which are used by. See, I am not fighting to United Nations. I don't know how many of you have seen Cowspiracy movie. If you have not seen, see the movie Cowspiracy. If you have not seen Seaspiracy, see the movie Seaspiracy. If you only know about global warming and you have seen only the inconvenient truth, also see the great global warming swindle. So you have to see the different views from different parts of the world, not to the text. So go beyond the text, out of the text. Then you will realize, oh, there is something great to be learned. Thank you, Basuji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr.
TPS.
Saksumar, for enlightening and for sharing your wisdom, because as we age, we gain a lot of wisdom and that we'll be able to educate us. So we'll learn so much from a great teacher like you, and hope to see you again in another platform like this.
So great job. Lead the Philippines, lead the world.
Yeah, you have inspired us a lot, my dear professor, and thank you for sharing
thank you.
A lot of wisdom. Thank you. Yeah. Well, last, Professor Elizabeth would like to say something.
Yeah.
Dr. Saksumar, yeah.
Yeah, Dr. TPS, thank you very much for enlightening us today, because this is my first time of sitting in front of you today. You spoke passion, and I resonate. Your passionate, I resonate with what you're talking about, and I think we need people like you as well, because everything you've said is true. It's really right. we can understand better. Like I always say, understanding will make it right. Thank you so much. So thank you. Sorry, let me correct myself. Thank you, Professor.
Okay, so Gerard, moving on.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. TPS, for that wonderful presentation. And indeed, our curiosity was piqued, especially when he mentioned that teachers should never beg for attention, especially as I realized that as a younger teacher, I often see that I beg for attention from my students, and that should not be the case. Thank you very much, Dr. TPS, for that enlightening presentation.
Globalization, and while research has always been international in many important respects, the scale and scope of research practice are globalizing to a unprecedented extent. It's very important to take advantage of this new data. And furthermore, let's not forget that research is based on adherence to core values: objectivity, honesty, openness, fairness, accountability, and stewardship. These core values help to ensure that the research field advances knowledge. Thank you all very much.
Very nice parting words, Professor Rania Lambo, and hope to see you again. We still have here Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth. Any final words, Dr. Elizabeth, Lucas? Are you still here?
I'm still here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Any final words? Yes.
First of all, I want to say congratulations, Dr. Mario, for this great platform that you have established for us to come together and learn from one another. Oh my, 3 days. What a wonderful event. And I've been fully equipped, fully knowledge, and also challenged as well to make a difference and to make a change. So I want to say thank you very much, Dr. Rainier, for hosting all of us. Thank you so much for everyone. I won't say everyone, all my distinguished people here today. I want to say thank you for your time, thank you for your patience, and thank you for willingly to want to learn and to make a change in whatever you are doing, especially in the education sector. Let me also say thank you to Dr. TPS for enlightening us and giving us more, wise words for us to be able to enjoy what we're doing as a teacher and as a lecturer. Thank you so much. We learn new skills there. I also want to thank our amazing, who I want to talk about, Dr. Gerard. Well done. Our great moderator.
Thank you, ma'am.
I appreciate every work that we are all doing because you added value to us. You make the place a place to relax and to learn. You are the timekeeper, and you set up the place, and we really appreciate that. I also want to say thank you to all our participants for your patience. I want to say thank you for all our presenters, especially the researchers. Thank you so much because we are bringing new ideas, new creativities for us to learn. I also want to say thank you to all our plenary speakers, which I was one of them on the first day. So thank you, and thank you to everyone. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Professor Queen Elizabeth. Thank you, Dr. TP Kumar. Okay, until the end of the webinar, you're still patiently listening to our paper presenters, and thank you for that. We still have some final words from Professor Biswadip, and also last words of wisdom from Dr. TP Kumar. Sure. Yeah, Professor Biswadip. Any final words, sir?
Yeah, it was a privilege to be a part of this conference. It was a very wonderful and organized conference I've ever seen. And the papers that were presented were on different topics, and it was excellent presented. The works are really good. And there was a lot of good invited speakers whom I was listening right from the morning. So it was really a wonderful effort that you have done with this conference. I wish you all the best. Maybe next year we can come back more stronger. and it will be another wonderful event like this year.
Thank you, Professor Biswan. Any final words, Dr. TP Saskumar?
Thank you and namaskaram to all the leaders of LEAD Philippines. And I was there on the first day almost full time. I heard most of the sessions.
Yes, I saw you.
Yesterday I couldn't because I was preoccupied with something else. I told that Reina before itself. So nice that it's a great different views on different aspects. Enjoyed thoroughly, and I'm sure this will lead not only Philippines, whatever is being shared is applicable for most of the other part of the world also. So nice, thank you, doing great, good job. Thank you and congratulations to all of you.
Yes.